Welcome to Brands on Brands on Brands. I'm Brandon Birkmeyer, your personal marketing coach, and I'm here to help you build a brand that matters today so your business can thrive tomorrow. Brands that are true to a purpose, brands that put people first, brands that build real connections. Don't build a business, build a brand. That's it. That's it. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Brands on Brands on Brands this week. What I want to talk about, and I'm excited to bring to you today, is a little bit about this idea of leadership and teams. Really surrounding this point of, as entrepreneurs, a lot of the time we think we have to do things alone, but we don't. And there's a lot of ways out there to find help and really drive our business forward at a much faster pace than trying to go it alone. So I want to cover that a little bit today, and I'm excited to bring that to you. But if you are new to the podcast, I want to thank you for tuning in first off and encourage you to subscribe, leave a rating, and check out brandonbrands.com for more information on how to get involved in the community that I'm building and how to speak with me and connect with me directly. But thanks for tuning in, and let's get on to the show. So leadership and teams. Like I said, I don't think we have to do this alone. And, getting into entrepreneurship on my own for the first time about a year and a half ago now, it was definitely a new adventure for me. And I didn't have a lot of experience to draw on from the business building side of things. I definitely had my expertise and my niche, in terms of marketing experience, but I didn't have the, background on what it takes to build a business, to all the things from setting it up to finding products to sell, to selling them, and all the things in between. And I'm sure there's a lot more to learn still. I know there's a lot more to learn still, but that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is that going down this road, at first I didn't know who to ask. I didn't have a network of people around me that really had done this before, because that's, coming out of a corporate environment, that's not the kind of people that I would run into and meet every day. So the idea of finding people that were also doing this had never really occurred to me because I didn't have those people around me. But as I started to see the value of having people that had done something before, as I was looking for people to ask questions to, I did stumble into a couple of communities that helped me really figure out my direction, and they're still helping me to this day. And I think there's that kind of thing out there for all the entrepreneurs out there. Whether, it doesn't matter what kind of business you own, whether it's, a one-person business or you have a small team of people, whether it's a retail business or an e-com business or a service-based business, whatever it is, you can benefit from finding people in your industry that are doing the same thing you're doing, from other entrepreneurs, or even if they're outside your industry, people that have certain experiences that you can lean into so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You shouldn't have to start from scratch. You don't want to have to take the 1, 2, 3 years of time that it took the person before you to take. You're better off learning from that person's experiences so that you can leapfrog and save that time and that learning curve and start ahead of the game. Because a lot of us don't have the time to waste to see if our business is going to work or not. We need to get building and skip all the things that are going to slow us down, because our runway might be short. And getting it right the first time may be the only chance we have. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to seek out these kinds of teams and leaders that you can lean into and look for experience. Now, the idea of doing it alone, I think for a lot of us, if you do have an entrepreneurial mindset, wherever you ended up getting that from, I think the idea that you are running this business and this ambition you have to build something, to make something, this drive you have to go further and create something that's beyond yourself, is very special. And it definitely takes a certain type of person to want to do that. But that doesn't mean that you have to bear the burden and that stress and the drama. You don't have to bear that by yourself. Just the idea that you have other people you can talk to share those experiences with, not even just to get coaching, but to share the struggles and the wins and the losses with, that understand where you're coming from. That alone will give you the strength you need to go further than you could without it. So you do need to seek out your people. You don't have to do it alone. And aside from that, you're learning and you're growing, you're connecting with these people. The growth that you can experience and the guidance you can get is awesome. And these people, not just it's not you're not just tapping into what they know, you're tapping into the people that they know as well, and their connections and their uh, the guidance that they've gotten over the years. So every time someone reaches back and helps out the person behind them, they're catapulting them forward faster than they could have ever gotten on their own. And the funny thing is, if you've ever been helped by someone, I think that you know that the very next thing you want to do is help someone else because of how much value you put into the help that you received. All you want to do is make someone else feel that way that you felt. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to many of you. And it's in that makes it surprising that it's so hard for us to reach out when there are so many people that are happy to give back to that community and to help other people that we're afraid to ask for help. So that's what I want to start with today. And then, the next thing I want to kind of talk about for a little bit is that there are experts in so many fields to help guide you on the specifics of your business. For example, I mean, I'm in the marketing side of things. And as you're building your operations and you've gotten your business moving, at some point, you're going to need to figure out how to market your business beyond just the doors being open and people finding you organically. And part of that is how you tell your story. Part of that is how what decisions you make to put your message out there in front of people. But it is a complicated process. You're not wrong in thinking that this is, a large endeavor to take on. But that's something that you've signed up for, right? And there is a way to get there. You're not alone. You're not the first person to do it. And it doesn't have to cost you thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure it out, while you're learning. It's the same kind of parallel to this idea of working with people and having other entrepreneurs around you that have done it before, is that while trying to take on a new task, whether it's operations or accounting or marketing, there are experts out there and teams of people that have either specialized or have been there before and have found ways to help businesses out. Now, as a marketing expert or someone in this industry that likes to help and coach businesses, I can tell you there are a lot of right ways to do it and a lot of wrong ways to do it. And yes, it is possible that you will start spending money and wasting it in the wrong places. You aren't the first person to do it. It happens all the time. But there are ways to try to avoid that and to take steps and measures to avoid wasting that critical time and money. Now, first thing I would say is to stop wasting time and start today. As long as your business is profitable and you've figured out that operational piece of it, it's time to start learning the ins and outs of marketing and investing into the idea that you're going to be doing marketing for a long time, that you're committing to the process of learning, because when you start, it's going to be rough and rocky, just like everything else in your business. And you have to learn what works for your business because it doesn't all work the same for every single business. But once you start to learn and grow and find out what works for you, it just gets better and better, and you continue to tweak it. And then you've invested in something that drives profitability for your business. It isn't just another line item that's a cost. This is something that's actually out there organically growing your business. And the experts that can help you, they range. There are people that, if you need to figure out how to do some Facebook ads, they have people that have specialized in Facebook ads and done it specifically for your type of business or for your industry or category. There are people that have built websites from top to bottom. There are people that have looked at search engine optimization and figured out how to get you found on Google when people are searching for you. There are experts that have looked at reviews and worked with sites to help them understand the best practices for managing reviews and doing that whole thing and making sure that you are relevant in your space. There are people that have worked with different broader media vendors like outdoor billboards or radio or TV. There are people that have done all of these things. And you can reach out to them and you can find individuals to hire, and you don't have to bring someone on. See, the hardest thing a lot of the time is people think they have to hire a marketing person right away to work inside their company because they're not marketing people. So how are you going to possibly understand it if you're not a marketing person? And I think that's not necessarily the right mentality. As long as you have some staff that's supporting you that has time, you can train them and make them the point person to take the time to learn what's working on a project by project basis. And that's the key, is you have to figure out what those projects are first and start to tackle them one at a time. And as you tackle them one at a time, you can bring in the coaches and experts that you need that coach on that specific thing, that specific project. So if you're ready for a website, for example, you don't just hire a web developer that's done it before. You can hire a web developer, but also talk to someone who understands what you need to tell a web developer so that you get a good website out of it. Not just one that is built, one that actually works for your business. And I think that's the distinction that people miss is there's plenty of people that can build something or activate or execute something. But if they're getting bad inputs, they're going to give bad outputs. And unfortunately, you're the one giving those inputs. So you're going to look back at this. And if you didn't get what you want, you're going to have no one to blame but yourself and not know why or how you could have done it better. And the trick is to find either someone in your network that has done this before and has hired someone before and knows what to tell them and has already made the mistakes and asked them, or you hire someone that knows what it's like to work with those kinds of people. For example, someone like me who's been in marketing a long time, I gave inputs for these kinds of things all the time. I know what to tell someone and how to manage them so that they make sure that the best practices are followed and that you're getting exactly what you're looking for. And sometimes the vendors, the people you're working with that you hire, the web developers, the designers, can ask the right questions to get that out of you so that you build the best thing possible for your business. But that's not always the case, because a lot of the time you might just be another number, another customer on the shelf for them that they just want to hammer out as quickly as possible because you haven't paid them the extra money to be their strategy person as well. They have a templated set of questions that asks you that makes sure that you get what you said you wanted, but doesn't actually help you figure out what you should have wanted instead of what you thought you needed. So that's part of the trick. You need to find an expert that actually knows the questions to ask and builds a strategy that makes sense for your business, that builds your business. And the same goes for any of the other types of projects you can have out there. If you're going to spend money on Facebook ads, it's the same thing. You can hire someone out of college. This stuff's not hard to learn. You can do it DIY on Facebook's website, and they will show you step by step, asking you questions. What do you want to do, this or that? And you can sit there and play with it and plug the things in. Or you can have, Johnny College kid come in, type that stuff in and do it for you. And that will save you time and you'll get it done. But you're not going to know if this stuff is working, or you will see that it's not working, which is part of the problem. Or you won't know that it could be working better or much better than what's currently happening. And the problem is you don't have any leadership. You don't have anyone in there that's an expert that is telling you the right things that should be important for your business. And the funnier thing is, as you have all these different experts, you have the Facebook person, the website person, the social media person, each of them has their own specialty and they've executed maybe for one or two people or maybe a group of people. And they figured out that expertise, but they can't sit there and tell you for your business, is that the thing you should have done? Should you have, instead of focusing on your website, should you have worked on your Facebook page? Or instead of your Facebook page, should you have worked on your emails and your CRM campaigns? You're not getting the holistic vision of your business that looks at everything you're doing and says, this is the thing you should do first. They're going to say, if you need this thing, I can do it for you. I can do it quick. I can do it cheap. And give me your info and I'll pop out the result. Now, without that expertise, you could see why this isn't going to be a process that's easy. It's not going to be something that you spend a little bit of money on and get this amazing result. And then by the time you realize you should have been doing it differently, you've already spent the money and you have to start over. So what I say is get ahead of this. Talk to people who've done it and ask them what they did. Ask them who they worked with. Ask them who coached them in terms of giving the inputs, or ask them if they can help you give the appropriate inputs that will help you move faster through this whole process. Now, this is what I do all the time. This is, I sit down with businesses and I talk to them about what they're going through and help them figure out top to bottom what makes sense for the business. But I can do this because I had 17 years of experience at ad agencies doing this exact same thing, learning media type by media type, what each can do and how to use them and what makes sense for clients specifically. That's a specific skill. It's different than a specialized person who knows one thing. And I think that's what the goal is here, is to find the coaches that can help you set those priorities, give proper inputs, and then hire the right people along the way. So if you don't take anything else away from this, what I would say is think about this. Before you hire a website, hire a coach. Before you hire someone to run Facebook ads, hire a coach. Before you have someone manage your social media, hire a coach. Before you pay someone to post pretty pictures on Instagram, hire a coach. Because all of these things that you're spending money on may not be the best use of your time and money. And you're not going to know that unless you talk to a proper coach. And if you need help picking a coach, here are some tips. You may have heard me say this throughout what I was just talking about. Number one, start with people you know. If you know someone that has a business already, ask them how they did it. Ask them if they used someone, if they knew someone that, if it's marketing, for example, if they know someone that knows marketing, that is a marketing coach, or if they know someone in any specific field that you need. Talk to other people that have a network that are doing this, because they're the ones that can give you the referrals you might need to start with people that you can trust. Because first, the ideal is that you know and you like and you trust these people. Why would you want to work with anyone else? The worst thing you can do is go on the internet and try to find someone from scratch that you don't know. You don't know if you like them, and you definitely don't know if you can trust them to do a good job for your business. So the first place I would say is, if you're going to hire a coach, reach out to your network, let them know what you're doing. And if they know someone that at least is in the vicinity of what you're trying to do. And then once you get introduced to people, you can vet them, you can talk to them, see what they're up to, see what their experience is. And as you look at what they've done, compare it to what you're trying to do and see if they have the experience. Are they a specialist that knows one thing, or are they someone that has worked with businesses holistically to understand how to send them down a road that's going to help the business? That's what you need. So step one, talk to people in your network that can send you referrals. That's a good way to get a coach that you might benefit from. That's the way to get a coach that could actually help you, that you don't have to waste the time on trying to find and vet and have no idea if it's going to work. Step number two, yeah, you do have to vet these people. You do have to go through that process. And what I mean by vetting, when you're doing some proper vetting, is why don't you look at what they've done? Look at the things that they have out there. Are they just executing, or are they also putting their ideas and thoughts out there? Are they thought leaders? Are they sharing best practices? Because the ones that truly know how to do it, know how to work with the business one-on-one and figure it all out, they're out there sharing their ideas. They're the ones that put their thoughts out there to be challenged, to be questioned. And if you just listen to the words that they say and the things that they put out there, you'll start to hear their perspective, and you can then know what that perspective is for you. If it's just a simple web page that they have and it's just trying to sell you something, that's not going to help you know if they're the real deal. But if they're consistently putting out information that speaks to exactly what you're trying to do, you know exactly what they're about. It's like watching a plumber who you know has serviced all these different houses. You're like, oh yeah, they're doing it. And if they're like, if you have a clog, this is what you do. And if you need to repipe something, this is what you do. You hear them talking about it, you know that they know what they're talking about. They're not just trying to sell you something and then possibly outsourcing to someone else to do it. The key thing there is do your research, see if these people put their money where their mouth is. And in this business, that means that they tell you exactly what they believe and what they think, and they share that with you. The third thing I'd say is, if you're looking for someone to help you go down this road, you're looking for a coach or an expert or someone to help you make a decision, you can go out there and try to dip your toe in the water after you've vetted them or you got a referral and you've figured out that you might want to work with them. Dip your toe in the water. You don't have to jump all the way in. That's the great thing about this. You don't have to say, let's do a massive project or go on a retainer. I mean, you should worry if all they're trying to do is sell you a retainer. You should have a way to work with them on a smaller basis, whether it's a 1 or 2 hour consulting. I'm not just talking a discovery call because that's just them asking you about you. I'm talking that you pay money to be on a 1 hour call where you've expressed a problem and they try to solve it for you. That's probably going to be the lowest hanging fruit. That's a low investment and you get to see them at work. And a lot of the time they'll even tell you, if I can't solve your problem, then you don't have to pay the full amount or you don't have to pay. Like, we're doing this because we think we can solve your problem. So look for the lower hanging fruit of how you can start to work with them. And that could be an hourly consultation, or maybe if they're a friend, they'll sit with you for a few hours at a time, multiple times, and just give you free advice on your business. Eventually, yeah, you should pay these people. You should hire them to do the actual work or to bring in real recommendations that are in depth and on your business. Because at first they'll probably just talk and give you ideas and thoughts, but that's a good way to vet them. So look for ways, the lower hanging fruit, the easier entry points to work with people, to really test the waters to know if they're what you're looking for. And I'm not saying hire someone to run Facebook ads for a month. I'm saying ask them to take you through a plan for Facebook. Say, I'd like you to build a plan for me and walk me through it. What's the strategy? I don't hear that enough these days. Why aren't people asking anymore? What's the strategy? Are you paying for someone to post content on your social media and you haven't been given a full top-down strategy of how you're going to grow your profile, how you're going to engage with the right people, the real people, how you're going to build messaging that actually works and stands out, how you're going to turn those into sales, and how you're going to measure that and show that measurable difference and return on a consistent basis. If you haven't talked about all of that, then you're missing the boat. You're just paying someone to execute. And in a few months, you might look back and say, okay, we spent this money. Did we get sales? And if the answer is, I don't know, that's a problem. And you could have gotten ahead of it by working with someone and figuring out that strategy first. And all of this goes back to the idea of you should be looking to test the waters with someone first. And one of those places to do it is strategy. And that strategy, once you've learned it, you can take it with you. You can train someone in-house to execute on that strategy, or you can teach newer and newer employees. It's something you can roll over to as your company changes. You don't have to keep paying for it. It's something you do once. Or you can hire someone that's relatively low cost, could be out of college or something else, to execute, but they're executing based on a strategy that was informed by someone who knows what they're talking about. That's the trick. And last on that list, obviously, I said start within your community to ask for if you know someone, but then ask that person who their referrals are. Once you've narrowed it down, get some referrals. Ask to talk to actual clients. Don't just look at the testimonials on someone's website or the logos of the companies they've worked with. I don't know how long ago that may have been or if they faked it. Actually, ask to talk to real clients. Get a phone number or two, get multiple phone numbers for sure, and look at the work that they've done. Don't just receive it. Don't just ask them to send you work, because that also could be made up or not good. Go ahead and ask for a real person to talk to and vet that person and look them up and make sure that they're not just a friend of a friend. Find out what actual work they did and hear in their words, I started at this and I finished at this. And that's the change that I got from working with this person. And if they're real, you'll start to see that. If they're just starting out, you might have to be that first person that they're working with. You should know that going in, that what you're getting is someone who's working through it, which I don't have a problem with that. I think that the idea is, if the newer they are, the more likely they are to put extra effort into your business to make it work, because they want a good case study. They want a good referral. So I don't mind the people that are newer at it, as long as they are experienced at the thing that they're trying to coach you on. But you do need to know that going in. What are you getting? Because what do you need? What is the thing that you want with your business that you're willing to pay for, that you want to help you make those kinds of decisions? And I think that's what it takes. So if you're, running a business out there, I think, you're looking to, you're trying to be a leader of your company and trying to lead and create something that grows and becomes something special. But just because you're a leader and you're an entrepreneur and you're doing this on your own doesn't mean you shouldn't be reaching out to other people. There are leaders in your industry, there are leaders in your business, there are leaders in certain fields that can really help you, and those leaders tend to become coaches, and those coaches can help you out. And like I said, a lot of people want to provide help and they want to reach back and they want to make sure that you succeed because they probably had someone help them along the way. So don't be shy about asking for help. Just get out there and do it. And who knows, as you're doing it, you probably run into more people, more and more people that are willing to help you and be a part of your network and your community. And growing community is a beautiful thing. It's something that I've invested in. If you guys are interested in getting to know me a little bit better, I have a group for entrepreneurs called Brand Growth Community. And it's all about how entrepreneurs work together to figure out how to grow their brands. It's everyone talking about what's working for them, what's not. It's just got started. We're just getting going with it. But if you want to join it, it's right there for you. It's a resource. I'm doing the same thing with students. I have a leadership community that's for students to figure out as they're entering into the marketing and business world, how to be the next generation of leaders. So I'm starting a community there for them to connect with each other because that's important to me. And I was an ad agency professional for 17 years. So I have a community that I'm starting there as well. That's for ad agency professionals to work together to figure out how to become better at what they're doing at their craft, to learn how to develop their reputations in the industry. And that's called Ad Agency Community. And it's all on my website at brandonbrands.com. You can find that. And I build these things because I want people to succeed. I want to give back and I want people to benefit. And if in that I build relationships with people that want to do business with me, yeah, that's an opportunity, but it's a beneficial opportunity for both parties. And that's how this game works. You help as many people as possible and they see the value, and then you start a relationship. That's what it's all about. While I'm talking a little bit about me and the business, I want to mention that I am excited about launching an updated version, a refresh of the podcast that will include interviews moving forward starting in May. More to come on that, but I've already locked in top leaders in social media marketing, people that have spoken at different conferences, that have written books, that are leaders in that space, thought leaders in marketing, as well as entrepreneurs that have built brands from scratch, that focused on the human element, that know that your reputation is what matters in building brands that matter. Have great interviews with those people already in the can, ready to go. And when I launch that, I'll be sending you guys an announcement. So look for that to come. Looking to step up the game here in the podcast to make sure I'm bringing more and more value as we move forward. So thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. I hope you're all having an amazing year, an amazing month, an amazing week, an amazing day, and keep on bringing it. Listen to the podcast. Let me know your feedback. Leave your ratings. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you soon.